What's up, and thank you for listening to the Steve and Jay Show. I am Jayson Courier, and this is our weekly Ring of Honor review. If you could please click that subscription button down below, and don't forget to click the bell to receive notification when we post our new stuff. Tonight, I am going to be reviewing and reacting to this week's Ring of Honor, which was Ring of Honor number 317, and aired on October 16th, 2017. I'm actually recording this a little bit late. I'm actually recording this at the time when I would be recording Ring of Honor, the review for Ring of Honor 318. But I had a little bit of a rough week. I actually started a night job, or where I have a night shift, graveyard shift. And it was a little rough on me last week. So I'm doing last week's review this week. And quite possibly might even do this week's with Steve. There's a outside chance he's been watching Ring of Honor with me, and he might actually do next week's review with me, so which we might even just do tonight. So I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how spunky I'm feeling tonight. I haven't been feeling very spunky lately. Anywho, Ring of Honor number 317 kicked off with a little promo with Christopher Daniel and Frankie Kazarian walking from the outside of the arena trying to get in. They are then stopped by security, and Frankie Kazarian, or first Christopher Daniels, he starts out pretty calm. He says, "Wait a minute, we're the Addiction. What do you mean you're not going to let us in? Pretty much we built this place. What do you mean you're not letting us in? We're the Addiction here. Come on." And Frankie Kazarian says, "Well, you're just doing your job. What you're going to do is you're going to get your butt kicked," kind of thing. And Christopher Daniels steps in and says, "Whoa, easy, big guy. They're just doing their jobs. And matter of fact, good job, guys. Next time I'm here, I'll try to get you a raise," kind of thing. And they turn and they walk away. Frankie yells out something about enjoy your studio apartment, or something like that. Enjoy your studio apartment, kid, or something to that effect. So anyway, first in-ring action was Kushida versus Scorpio Sky. And Scorpio Sky was allegedly, as they said, was from Big Bear, California, which is actually pretty cool for me, because Big Bear's not right around the corner, but it's in my neck of the woods. So pretty cool stuff. Hopefully he really is actually from Big Bear, and hopefully he's doing a good job out there. Anyway, the two kind of start out locking up. They exchange forearms. They eventually exchange slaps. There's kind of a cool little springboard flip thing with an elbow, a back elbow by Kushida. Mama Kushida was sitting at ringside checking out baby boy, which was kind of cool. It was neat. Get to see Mama out there. It was cool stuff. Scorpio went up to the top rope and came down to, I'm assuming he was going for some sort of an elbow or something on Kushida. As he landed it, though, Kushida grabbed his arm and got him in an armbar. Scorpio Sky managed to make it to the bottom rope. He gets his foot on the bottom rope. As the official is trying to get Kushida to break the hold, out comes Christopher Daniels, and he's full on got the finger on the trigger of the air horn, which is just blowing a straight shot right through, just super annoying. Kushida's covering his ears and yelling at Christopher Daniels, who's still on the outside of the ring. The officials also got his back turned. As the two have their back turned to the ramp, out comes Frankie Kazarian, and Frankie attacks Kushida from behind, but doesn't just attack him. He gives him the old kick to the junk from behind, And the official, of course, calls for the bell. And then Frankie Kazarian turns and attacks Scorpio Sky while Christopher Daniels puts the boots to Kushida. Eventually, Jay Lethal comes out and he comes running out and saves the day. He chases Christopher Daniel and Frankie Kazarian out. They then cut to break, and when they came back from break, they showed that Jay Lethal was in the ring now with the mic, and he's calling out to Christopher Daniel and Frankie Kazarian, and he's saying, I'm tired of Ring of Honor being disrespected. I'm not going to let you disrespect this company anymore. I'm going to do something about it. How about me and Kushida take on you and your little boy there? And it's Christopher Daniels versus Frankie Kazarian, or Christopher Daniel and Frankie Kazarian versus Jay Lethal and Kushida, which is a match that Ian Riccaboni confirmed a few moments later after they showed the replay. Ian Riccaboni confirmed that match is, I believe he said that's coming up next week, which should be pretty cool. Good little match. Jay Lethal's one of my favorites, and so is Kushida. So, and of course Christopher Daniel. He's awesome, and Frankie Kazarian too. So should be fun stuff. I can't wait for that one. That one actually, I'm more excited, I think, about next week than I was into this week. This week was a little bit of a downer because of what happened next. They replayed the Jay Briscoe attack on Bully Ray. They replayed the moment that I got too excited during last week's review to talk about when Tommy Dreamer came out and he told Jay Briscoe, he said, look, I'm not here to fight my friend's battles. I'm not here to speak for him. What I'm here for is I'm here to tell you that you messed up, and I'm not sure what's going to happen to you, and that he's concerned about his friend, and gave him the whole there's life outside of wrestling thing. And it was kind of a bummer moment last week, and then this week was even more of a bummer moment when Bully came out, and I'm assuming that this TV taping was pretty close to the Death Before Dishonor, just shortly after it had ended. I'm thinking it was like a week or even two, maybe just a week after Death Before Dishonor, because Bully didn't look too good. He came out in the hat and the glasses. He came out with no music, no flashing lights, no pyro, no nothing. He actually apologized to the crowd for no music and said that it was at the order of his doctor that he wear the glasses and he have no music and keep the noise down kind of thing. And he said the bright lights, the loud music, everything's really affecting me right now. He also said that that he would like to tell Jay Briscoe that he is going to exact his revenge on him and he's coming after him, but he said, quite frankly, I don't know if I can do that. He actually legitimately seemed like he is honestly in real life contemplating retirement, and it's not because he wants to, it's because he has to. And that really, really sucks, especially for a guy that a lot of us have watched for a long time. And it just sucks. It sucks when a guy has to go out and it's not on his terms. And especially a guy that's given as much to wrestling as Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, whatever you want to call him. As much as he's given to wrestling, for him to be forced to retire because of a concussion, that just really sucks. So yeah, to me, it kind of sucked the wind out of this week. having to watch him out there and be serious Bully Ray and speak quietly and speak real. He really seemed to be speaking from the heart and said, hey, I got to think of my family. I've always put my wrestling family before my family, and I can't do that in this situation. I've got to think about me. I've got to think about my health. I've got to think about my long term. So it was really just kind of a cool moment, but a downer moment. I've actually heard and read, and I've seen on Twitter, I've seen some clips of people that have posted some clips from house shows where he's still coming out, and now he's actually got a little bit more, no more sunglasses, and there can be some chanting, and he's waving to the crowd kind of thing. He's not wrestling, but he's waving to the crowd kind of thing, and it kind of feels like the Bully Ray retirement tour. And again, that just really sucks. I mean, good for him. I just wish he could have gone out on his terms. But a guy like him that pours his heart and soul into the game like that, I guess guys like that don't walk away because they don't know how to. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Anyway, they then, let's change off of that. They then cut to a Kenny King promo, which was really a replay of last week when, after his match, he said, I can't tell you what it's like how much it means to me to win this championship, and not only win it, but win it here in my hometown of Vegas and in front of my family. And he draped the belt over his daughter, and it was a super cool moment. And he said, I want you to know I'm going to be a fighting champion. And that's when Shane Taylor and Chuck Taylor and Punishment Martinez and Mark Briscoe all came out, and Kenny delivered what I think is a pretty damn cool line that they again replayed when he held up the belt. He said, Shane Taylor, Chucky T, Punishment Martinez, Mark Briscoe, I want to introduce myself. My name is Kenny King. And he holds up the belt and he says, this is my golden throne, and if you want some of this, you're going to have to bend the knee. Effing cool. Dig it. I really like Kenny King, though. I've said this before. I'm a fan of Kenny King. He's an athletic dude and fun to watch, and that's a pretty cool line. I like that stuff. So anyway, then what they were doing is they're doing a promo for next week, which is the number one contender match it's a fatal 4-way between Shane Taylor, Chucky T, Mark Briscoe, and Punishment Martinez to determine who the number one contender for Kenny King's television title is. So should be a fun one as well. They've already got a couple matches set up for next week that I'm very much looking forward to. Anyway, Bullet Club then came out for their Cody The American Nightmare celebration. Cody was signing the most lucrative contract in Ring of Honor history, and the Bullet Club are here to celebrate. Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, Hangman Page, Brandy Rhodes. I'm assuming I can still call her a Rhodes. I don't think there's any copyright problems with that, is there? I think they refer to her as Brandy Rhodes. Anyway, Cody's wife, Brandy, and Mr. Jackson joined the party, Nick and Matt's dad, and even Shane Taylor came out and acted as bodyguard for Cody. As they were coming out, Colt Cabana had a pretty cool moment. He said that the Young Bucks had told him that they were Stan Lee's favorite tag team, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool when Stan Lee digs you. That's neat stuff. Good for you boys. Cody Rhodes kind of slips Shane Taylor a few bucks. He's standing at ringside and counting out the money, and I believe Colt Cabana says, hey, look at this, look how much money that is, oh my goodness, and Cody's starting to kind of count it out, and he kind of shakes his head, and he folds it all up, and he says, you know what, you keep it all, and kind of pats Shane Taylor on the chest and slips the money in his pocket. And pretty cool little moment. I kind of like what they're doing with Shane, with him being Cody's muscle, and Cody paying him off. It's cool stuff. I'm digging the whole Shane Taylor is a hired gun thing. I think that's a neat angle to his character, so I'm digging it. Cody takes the mic then and says that after Death Before Dishonor, that Ring of Honor had finally decided to pony up a contract and had offered him the most lucrative contract in the company's history. So pretty cool stuff. Yay, Cody. Whoop, whoop. You deserve it. Chants came up from the crowd. The no, you don't chants accompanied the you deserve it chants. But the you deserve it's outweighed the no, you don'ts. Seemed anyway. I think he deserves it. I think it's really cool. I actually love what he's done outside of WWE and stepping away from the big machine, or being pushed away from the big machine, however you want to read it. And then landing on his feet the way he has, it's just, and not only landing on his feet, but landing on his feet like a cat and doing a backflip. I mean, dude has really made more of himself than they were able to make of him, which is, I think, is super, super cool. He said, at that point, in November of 2015, Matt and Nick Jackson were fielding offers from pretty much every major wrestling company on the planet. Matt and Nick kind of shook their heads, and Cody proclaimed them loudly the best tag team in the world. And they, of course, probably are, or they're the most hyped tag team in the world anyway. He then said, in pro wrestling and sports entertainment, the lines often blur. And in this moment, he said that this was a authentic and genuine moment for him, and that he was happy to be doing it here at Ring of Honor. And he said, much like the Young Bucks, when they made the choice to come to Ring of Honor, when they were the hottest item on the planet, he was then tonight making that decision himself and officially joining Ring of Honor. At that point, the official comes walking up with clipboard in hand, hands Cody the Ring of Honor hat. He puts on the old cap, the ROH cap, and signs the contract officially. The streamers come flying in, the crowd's chanting ROH. Really cool stuff. Again, I kind of felt like it was Cody plays the arrogant heel champ really well, but I think he was kind of letting us in a little bit there in terms of, I think he legitimately was happy to be signing that contract. And like I said, he's made more of himself than his daddy's company that his dad loved so much was able to make for him. It's just amazing what he's done. Cody then kind of goes around the ring, and he's shaking hands with he shakes hands with Nick and Matt Jackson. He shakes hands with Hangman Page. Again, it all looks like they're just really legitimately happy for him. Like, kayfabe aside, they're really legitimately happy for the guy. He shakes hands with Mr. Jackson, which turns into a hug. He pulls wifey in for a smooch and takes the mic again and literally says, okay, now down to business. He says that as the now exclusive member of Ring of Honor and champion, he felt as though the belt the World Championship should be defended, and it should be defended tonight. And he went on to say, I'm so confident, I'm not even in my wrestling gear. I'm doing it right here, right now. In his suit. And he showed Shane Taylor kind of standing outside of the ring, standing guard, looking menacing. They assumed on the broadcast team, Ian and Colt Cabana assumed that it was to keep the addiction away, which probably is the case. Cody then said, there has been a lot of discussion about who my next opponent should be and will be. And he did the big tease and said that this individual flat out called him out for a title shot, and that this individual is probably the second most popular Ring of Honor wrestler, and that he has a great entrance. The crowd's starting to chant Dalton Castle. I heard a couple sarcastic screams in there for a couple people. Cody then says, that's right. He says, give it up for your new number one contender, and the crowd's just ready to explode. And Cody says, Cheeseburger. And the crowd still pops, but not quite the pop that it would have been if it was Dalton Castle or probably anybody else, really. So that's it. That's the match. That's your new number one contender. That's the match that Cody is having tonight right now in his suits and boots. So, Cody versus Cheeseburger. As the match, it's funny, as the match was starting, Colt actually yells and kind of half laughs. He says, Cody's in his suit still. And Cody takes off his tie and hands it to Shane Taylor. Cody still has his dress shirt on and his slacks and his boots, and he holds the hand out and he wants Cheeseburger to do the kiss the ring thing. Cheeseburger extends the hand because he wants to do the code of honor thing, and Cody then gives Cheeseburger a good old slap to the face. Cheeseburger kind of at that point, they do a little quick little back and forth. Cheeseburger kind of gives Cody some surprise offense at that point. Cody rolls out of the ring, kind of surprised that Cheeseburger is actually giving him a few shots. Rips off his shirt. Colt says that he's going to go get the shirt because that's like a $200 shirt. Cody reaches into the ring and grabs Cheeseburger by the leg, kind of delivers a forearm shot, pulls Cheeseburger over. Cody's still outside the ring. He pulls Cheeseburger over to the ring post, and he's going to do the wrap the leg around thing. Cheeseburger then kind of pulls his legs in and causes Cody to slam into the ring post. As Cody's kind of reeling on the outside, Cheeseburger does the springboard over the top rope and gives Cody the old splash on the outside of the ring. Cody then gets into the ring. As Cody's in the ring and Cheeseburger is trying to then come into the ring, Cody gives Cheeseburger the old kick and kind of grabs Cheeseburger by the neck and lays back and kind of slams Cheeseburger into the ring, pulls Cheeseburger into the ring and kind of slams him. It was pretty cool little slam by old Cody. And Cody then, I believe, at that point, I think he went down and started doing push-ups to show that, hey, this really isn't much of a challenge for me. Cody then takes off his belt and the ref talks him into tossing it to the corner. As Cody's kind of distracted, Cheeseburger sneaks in a crucifix pin attempt, which Cody kicks out on, I believe, at 2. Cody then, eventually they end up in the corner, and Cheeseburger had tried to get to the top rope, and Cody stopped him, and Cody then gave Cheeseburger a superplex off the top rope, but as he was picking him up, Cody was on the second rope, and he kind of picked him up slowly and paused and picked him up a little bit more and paused, and then he delivered the superplex. And Colt had kind of a funny little comment afterwards. He says, that's not that difficult. Cheeseburgers, it's only a 95-pound cheeseburger that he's having to hold up for that long. And it was just, Colt's pretty funny, dude. It's good stuff. Cody then hits the crossroads on Cheeseburger. Should have been match over, but Cody picked up the shoulder on the 2 count and pulled up Cheeseburger. So he's going to deliver a little bit more punishment. Cody then takes off his boot, and I'm assuming he was going to hit Cheeseburger with the boot. The ref talks him into giving him the boot, and as the ref's back is turned because he's putting the boot into the corner, Cheeseburger grabs Cody's belt that he tossed into the other corner and hits Cody from behind with the belt, gets the roll-up pin attempt, and Cody then kicks out at 2. Ian's yelling, "We have a new champion." Cody kicks out. Ian's yelling, "Oh, come on, Cheese, come on, Cheese." It was pretty fun. The crowd's going crazy. It was fun match for a really overmatched match. This was a pretty fun match. Cody kind of cowers into the corner a little bit, and he grabs his jacket as Cheeseburger's trying to come at him. Cody throws the jacket in Cheeseburger's face. Cheeseburger is then distracted. Cody grabs Cheeseburger, does a single leg takedown on Cheeseburger, then gets Cheeseburger in the American Deathlock, and Cheeseburger has no choice but to tap, 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 ding, ding, ding. Cody wins and retains the belt. So a pretty good match. A fun little match considering that, like I said, it was completely... Cheeseburger obviously had no business being in there. He's fun to watch, but he's like Colt said, he's like 95 pounds, and he's a little dude. And Cody's a big, strong animal. He's an awesome champ. So I look forward to Cody actually having a real opponent next. So he puts on a good match, and so does Cheeseburger. It was fun. And the whole thing of Cody wrestling in his suit was pretty funny. It was neat. The Kingdom then cut a promo, basically saying that they think it's ridiculous that they should have to fight their way to being number 1 contenders for the 6-man tag title. TK O'Ryan even says at one point during the promo that he feels that they should be just given the 6-man tag titles with him being back from his injury now. Matt Taven has a couple of funny lines. He says, reckless redneck Melvins hitting people with chairs. Don't they know how dangerous that is to start? Which is pretty damn funny. Got to be careful with them chairs, man. Or tables, even. Motor City Machine Gun, he says, congratulations to the Motor City Melvins. You won the tag title, but we're the Kingdom, and we're going to show you that we're the kings of Ring of Honor, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the best part of the promo was probably when Matt Taven said the whole reckless redneck Melvins hitting people with chairs. Don't you know how dangerous that is? Probably the best part of the promo. The next up was Coleman's pulpit. And Caprice Coleman said, I have got a tag team to introduce to you. And it is Rhett Titus and Will Ferrara, the dogs. And Ferrara comes out and, yeah, we're the big dogs. Arr, and he's yelling and screaming. And he's got this jacket on, like a dress jacket, that looks like it's at least 2-3 sizes too big for him. Rhett Titus has on a jacket. I swear it looked like they should just trade jackets, was my first thought. And Rhett Titus has on a jacket that's too small. And Caprice Coleman makes a comment of, I see you boys have on your Sunday best, but what's up with no shirts? Rhett Titus says, you know, Caprice, we got to get all that pec time in on TV. So no shirts, just the jackets. Will Ferrara says, now wait a minute. You act like this guy's acting like he didn't accidentally put on the wrong jacket. He says we should have switched jackets, but he won't take it off. He says, look at me. I look like I'm wearing my dad's jacket, and he looks like the Incredible Hulk. And pretty funny moment, because I had noticed that Will Ferrara's jacket was ridiculously large on him, and Rhett Titus looked super small. My thought before they had said it was that they needed to switch jackets, but so pretty comical little moment there. And basically they cut a promo about hating their former tag team partners and how they're gonna beat the hell out of the Tempura Boys. So that was pretty much the gist of the promo. The next match and the main event of the evening was the Kingdom versus Search and Destroy. So TK O'Ryan, Matt Taven, Jesus Christ, Matt Taven, and Vinny Marseglia were taking on Alex Shelley, Chris Sabian, Motor City Machine Guns, and Jonathan Gresham. Gresham's really fun to watch. I actually like him. I didn't realize until this match because the only matches that I had seen him in, he was going against other kind of smaller dudes, and Motor City Machine Guns aren't really that big of dudes, but TK O'Ryan's a pretty tall dude. He seems to be. I'm thinking he's like 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there. And Jonathan Gresham looked really short in this match. He just looked really small to me. He's awesome. He flips all over that ring, but he looked a little small to me in this match. I don't know why. It was the first time that I had noticed, I guess. Anyway, so Matt Taven and Chris Sabin start out. Colt Cabana makes the comment of there was no code of honor in this match, that Taven just went straight to the attack. He was stomping on Chris Sabin in the middle of the ring. All 6 men eventually end up in the ring. There's a big, crazy brawl. All 6 members of the Kingdom end up getting flipped up over the shoulders of all 6 members of Search and Destroy, and they get flipped up and outside of the ring. So now all 3 members of the Kingdom are on the outside, while Search and Destroy are on the inside of the ring. Along the apron, Motor City Machine Guns both do a double team on, I believe, Matt Taven. I believe caught the double kick from them. There's then, from the apron to the outside of the ring, there's then a running knee by Alex Shelley. Chris Sabin then does a cannonball from the apron to the outside of the ring, and Jonathan Gresham then does a suicide dive he's the only one left in the ring, and he does a suicide dive to the outside of the ring. So pretty cool action there. A lot of this match seemed to be kind of a little bit on the crazy side. I kind of like that, though, about the 6-man tag titles and the 6-man matches is they always seem to have kind of that little moment of chaos where a lot of crazy stuff goes on, and it's cool stuff like off the apron to the outside of the ring, moonsaults from the top rope to the outside of the ring. There's just all kinds of cool stuff, it seems, in these 6-man tag titles. At some point, there's like that chaotic moment where they do just really cool, crazy stuff. There is a cool triple team by Search and Destroy on Matt Taven on the inside of the ring. Chris Sabin ends up eventually in the wrong corner when things kind of settle in. They kind of trapped Chris Sabin on the wrong part of the ring for quite a while in this match. They really beat the hell out of him. At one point during all of it, Chris Sabin has a really cool tornado DDT that he delivers, and as he's doing it, he gives TK Orion and Vinny Marseglia a kick as he's spinning around, and then delivers the tornado DDT. It was a pretty cool move. There's the hot tag to Jonathan Gresham, who kind of cleans house a little bit. He comes running in and delivers a running kick thing to Vinny Marseglia in the corner. And as he does, he jumps up so high that he nearly jumped out of the ring. He jumped right over the top turnbuckle and nearly jumped out of the ring. For a short dude, that was quite a jump. He's super, super, super athletic. There is a double leg drop from the top rope then by Gresham on TK Orion and Vinny Marseglia. There is a springboard moonsault then by Gresham on TK. And as he does the moonsault, he kind of transitions that and rolls that into an ankle lock, which of course is a pretty big deal for a dude that's coming off of having a broken leg, like TK is. There is a tag to Matt Taven, and Gresham then eventually tags Chris Sabin. There is then a really cool sequence, then the dream sequence by Motor City Machine Guns on Matt Taven. Super cool stuff. They're a really fun tag team to watch. Just neat stuff. The Motor City Machine Guns then do the split the rope where one gets on the ropes and opens up the ropes and into the suicide dive. So they do the split the ropes suicide dive, which is pretty cool stuff. Vinny Marseglia then had a just right directly after it, like boom, boom. As soon as they do the suicide dive, everybody's on the outside of the ring. Vinny Marseglia then does the springboard backflip onto the pile of dudes on the outside of the ring. Pretty cool stuff. Taven then is the only man left in the ring, and he does the running splash dive up over the top ropes with the splash onto the outside of the ring. TK Orion and Vinny Marseglia were holding up their opponents. Were holding up Motor City Machine Gun, but Chris Sabin and Shelley managed to get out of the way, and so Matt Taven only hit his own teammates instead of hitting Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. While this is all going on, Jonathan Gresham is kind of crunched down over on the apron. He then runs over to the opposite ring post and jumps up onto the second turnbuckle and does a moonsault from the turnbuckle onto the outside of the ring onto the pile of the Kingdom, which was pretty cool. Again, Jonathan Gresham does some really cool stuff. They tossed Matt Taven back into the ring. There is a top rope drop kick then by Chris Sabin. There's a double kick in the corner as Matt Taven got into the corner. There was a double kick by Motor City Machine Guns. Again, pretty cool. TK Orion then jumped up onto the apron with the bat, and he distracts Todd St. Clair, the referee. They're over dealing with TK as Vinny Marseglia goes over to, I believe Alex Shelley was up on the top rope. He knocks Alex Shelley off of the top rope. As he's doing that, he tosses in Matt Taven's walking stick that he comes to the ring with. Taven then picks up the walking stick, and as the official, Todd St. Clair and Chris Sabin are both distracted and they have their backs to the action, Matt hits Chris Sabin with the walking stick in the back. Looked like it was a pretty good shot. He gets the roll-up pin attempt on Chris Sabin, and ding, 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 gets the pinfall for the win. And the Kingdom have defeated Search and Destroy. So, pretty good match. This week wasn't necessarily my favorite week of Ring of Honor. I think that a lot of it has to do with the whole Bully Ray retirement thing. It was kind of a buzzkill for me. I like Bully Ray, so sad to see him go. So looking forward to next week. I hope we see a little bit more from Bully Ray. I would imagine that in some way he's going to stay involved in wrestling. I think he ought to go into commentary work, do the heel commentator thing, and be a manager. I think he would make an awesome manager too, an awesome heel manager. So that's my personal opinion, though. I like heels and I like managers and I like the heel commentators. So I'm probably a little partial on that one. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. That was this week's show. That was this week's review and reaction. Again, I'm hoping that when I record episode 318, which actually just aired a couple of days ago, and I should be recording that right now, I'm hoping to record that with Steve. So hopefully next week's review, you won't have to just listen to me drone on all night. So thank you, though, for listening. Very much appreciated. Please, if you could, hit that subscribe button down below, and don't forget to click the bell to receive notification when we post our new stuff. You can follow us on Twitter at Steve and J Show. You can shoot us an email, thesteveandjshow@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. Just search Steve and J Show. The actual profile, we had to create a profile with an actual name, so I think it's Jayson A. Mark is our main Facebook, and then just search Steve and J Show. We'll pop up. You'll see us on there. Please, if you could. Just don't be surprised if Jayson A. Mark hits you up and says he's from the Steve and J Show, because that's us too. We had to create a name. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate you folks. Really, we do. Glad that I can come on here and drone on about my wrestling and have fun once a week. So thank you guys for listening. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Good night.